I think the key word is stability. You need a government that must stay there for 5 years. You need a prime minister who is the captain of the ship for 5 years without looking at his back. Who's going to run away from him?
So the Papua New Guinea chapter began on the 16th of September 1975. All corners of the country took part in the independence celebrations by staging their own festivities. In Port Moresby, the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium became the country's point of all the formalities. The lowering of the Australian flag signaled the end of the colonial era. And the rising of the new placed Papua New Guinea amongst the world of independent countries. It was an exciting time. Why not? Independence is not like an election. It comes only once. And to be part of it was a privilege, a moment of great expectations. It was also an emotional time.
Looking back, in '61, when I first invested in the independent state of Papua New Guinea and its flag and its national anthem and its constitution, when people sort of slammed me and said I was rather communistic-minded, I was rather pinkish or reddish, I was extremely left, that I was a man ahead of my time, I did not dream that I would be able to live through those turmoil days to witness this.
A lot of people in this country thought, well, we wouldn't be able to do it. They were talking in terms of 2 or 3 decades, while I was talking in terms of few years.
Papua New Guinea is a political democracy. Politics and politicians have been a dominant part of the 20 years as an independent nation. The political events that preceded self-government and independence remain a closed chapter. The push for Bougainville to be separate and activities of the Matungan Association in East New Britain have in fact ensured a united Papua New Guinea during independence.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, listen. Now, long this time, if you are right in this permission, long walk, you go ahead. That's all suppose. Government belong now, he come back. Only must look good, long when him kind of agreement, only by walking.
Now, suppose you me like running this place, you me master on this place in politics, you me too. Look out, all people belong in me, master belong economics. All man. Belong, look out him. Development belong here, Bombay fitting people belong in me.
It all began here in downtown Port Moresby. What's now left of the old House of Assembly is perhaps an unfortunate landmark of our independence. But development had to come. The country's new 26 million kina parliament at Waigani is a culmination of modern technology and Papua New Guinea tradition. That setting is very much how this country has developed in the last 20 years. A Westminster democracy and its cost, Melanesian ways that have led to more indecisiveness than consensus, and traditional beliefs that have clashed with Western laws. Put all of those into a mixing pot, and the result has been something like this. Incredible progress in the physical development of the country and in the lives of the people. Papua New Guinea's democracy has withstood tests that are the envy of many African countries. And given the vast resources, this land is blessed. But along the way, a new vocabulary called compensation has become part of the people's conversation. A work pattern called corruption has apparently made inroads into high places. And Papua New Guinea's biggest threat to its future prosperity and stability are Bougainville today and law and order. This is Coil, one of many islands of the coastline of Wewak. Less than 1,000 people live on the island. This big day is to mark the opening of a new guest house, the first such on the island, built by a couple. Sir Michael Samare was accorded the honor to open the venture.
Mikam also regional member belong Upla. So now too only talk also me were in Nupla at only him at belong Luluai now only give me at belong Kukura belong Palace Long Province.
That was one of the first jobs Sir Michael performed as governor of East Sepik. He emphasized the importance of this type of village-based accommodation facility for tourists. Under Sir Michael, tourism is to become a priority and developed as a long-term industry.
Sepik only write him long book. All get a book long world finish long tradition and culture belong this la province.
You're still with the report. The Prime Minister was in Wewak recently to witness and co-sign an agreement on the amalgamation of the Kaindi Teachers College with Divine Word University. This means that the college will now produce teachers with bachelor degrees in both primary and special education.
It has never been a better week for the Prime Minister, as was on Saturday the 23rd of August when he revisited the St. Benedict's Kaindi Teachers College in Wewak. This time he came to witness and co-sign an agreed statement on the amalgamation of the Teachers College with Divine Word University. The signing of this amalgamation was a dream come true for Sir Michael. A former teacher himself, he was pleased with the concept of St. Benedict's becoming an educational faculty of the Divine Word University. The college will now produce teachers with bachelors of degree in both primary and special education.
So it gives me great pleasure today to witness and endorse the coming of age of St. Benedict's Teachers College as education faculty for Divine Word University.
Accompanying Sir Michael to the signing was Lady Veronica, Director General for Higher Education Philip Kerame, Divine Word University President Father Jan Chuba, Education Secretary Peter Baki, Bishop Tony Burgess of the Wewak Diocese, and various other dignitaries. Father Jan said that this agreement had already proven itself through producing quality higher education courses that are directly focused on the needs of the country.
It is good to see our Prime Minister taking part of this historic moment in the development of teachers' education and higher education in his epic province and our country, and even better to see him here at the new Divine Word University campus. Your interest in the development of higher education and teachers' education is much appreciated, and we hope we can take it as a recognition by you of the contribution this university is making in the development of our country through providing quality graduates to serve this nation.
Education Secretary Peter Baki made it clear that the partnership between government and other bodies such as the church is the way forward, and he emphasized teacher development.
The lubrication process is the education system. The influential component in this lubrication process is the teacher. How can we provide quality relevant education that meets the needs of those who go to the village, but those who are going to help develop our own astronomers?
Like many mission institutions in the country, St. Benedict's has its own history. 34 years in the making, the college commenced operations on the 11th of February 1956 under the name St. Xavier, Kunjengini. In 1965, late Bishop of Wewak, Bishop Leo, renamed it St. Benedict's Teachers College, and it was later moved to its current location in Kaindi, in the heart of Wasara. The Saure people are the traditional landowners of which St. Benedict's now stands. As ordinary member for Wewak, Sir Michael has had numerous dialogues with them to ensure that the Saure people benefit from St. Benedict's. Today, as Prime Minister, Sir Michael has agreed to talk to them again, and at least 1/3 of interests promised to them will be delivered for the use of their land. In the meantime, he urged the Wewak community to take pride in the very first university campus in their province.
The National Alliance Party, led by Sir Michael, celebrated its first day in office over the weekend. The Prime Minister expressed optimism and assured PNG of the government's commitment to move forward despite current challenges.
The Grand Palace inside the RH Hypermart was the venue where the National Alliance Party celebrated 12 months in government on Saturday night. All who were invited were from the corporate organizations as a sign of the government's commitment to public-private partnership.
You, a country whose democratic foundation.
In his official speech, Sir Michael was reminiscent of the 1960s and early 70s when Papua New Guinea achieved political and constitutional independence. There were those less optimistic about independence and claimed with a sense of misguided certainty that Sir Michael and his party would plunge the country into bloodshed and chaos. At the time of the nation's silver jubilee and slowly moving on to the 28th year of self-governing, Sir Michael was determined to come back and, with the help of his alliances, put a brake on the country's deteriorating situation. This was what Sir Michael wanted, and he was pleased with the slow but sure progress of the NA-led government. The Prime Minister spoke in parables when he explained to the guests what is currently happening.
After 12 months in the office, the sea remains rough, but we are piloting the ship to safer waters. We can see the sea getting calmer, the rain slowing down, and the wind weakening. The sun is beginning to shine. The navigator has confidently plotted a course to take. The crew is comprised of seasonal sailors and qualified seamen who are confident in handling their assigned responsibilities and working together as a team to get the ship safely to its destination.
The mining industry is expressing unreserved confidence in the country by investing well in new explorations. The fishing industry is increasing its fish money and jobs ashore.
The quina is stable and gaining in value. The foreign reserve is healthy. Our roads are slowly being maintained. Confidence is returning.
But he reminded them that there was still much work to do before the country's situation stabilizes. The forestry industry is struggling to re-establish itself as a sustainable contributor to PNG's development. He admitted that the cost of living remains high and interest rates and inflation are high. Sir Michael revealed that the only major government-funded project that is off the ground is the Umiet Bridge. Out of 18 political parties in Parliament, 17 of them make up the coalition. The stability that the coalition partners have nurtured over the 12 months was something Sir Michael made mention of.
The stage is set for the government to serve its full term in office. Serving a full term in office is a culture that must be instilled into our political system and administrative ways of life.
Sir Michael did not hold anything back. Everyone was informed of the government's progress and its future endeavors. For the National Alliance-led government, the first 12 months have been progressive and promising as it looks towards the next year in office.
That's all we have in this edition of Report. In the next edition, we'll bring you Tutuman News. Until then, good night.
Good evening, everyone. The spirits of this Tambaran house, indeed the spirits of Karau in East Sepik, have made their statements to Sir Michael Samare, one of the longest-serving politicians in Papua New Guinea. His disappointments and triumphs as a leader later in an interview with me in this program.
The public are complaining to 109 of us, including myself, Chan, myself, Namaliu and Winti. We've led the country. We've been the leaders of the country. Are we transparent enough? Are we showing people that we are genuine? Are we giving the direction that the people should follow our examples?
The current and has been for the last 33 years, Sir Michael Samare, the regional member for East Sepik in the National Parliament. The name Samare is synonymous with the Sepik people. It is synonymous in PNG politics before, during, and after independence.
We have talked about this day, we have planned for it, worked for it, and looked forward to it. I know that every man, woman, and child of our new nation shares this moment of pride and happiness with one heart to join in celebrating our independence. A lot of people in this country thought, well, we wouldn't be able to do it. They were talking in terms of 2 or 3 decades, while I was talking in terms of few years. One stage in Australia, I said, I don't see it, I cut out myself to be the Prime Minister. I think that's one of my quotations in Australian paper. I never thought, by forming the first political party that we would be able to see it through. But then when I know that I had a lot of support from young Papua New Guineans, I thought, well, I think we should be able to make it.
Sir Michael is one of the most respected leaders in the South Pacific. He emerged to the PNG political helm at the time of Ratu Sir Kamesa Samara of Fiji, Gough Whitlam of Australia, Robert Muldoon of New Zealand, and at a much later time, Father Walter Linney of Vanuatu and Solomon Mamaloni of the Solomon Islands. Many call him the Chief, a phrase of respect and high placing in society. Others call him the Father of the Nation. Sir Michael was the Chief Minister before independence and the first Prime Minister after. During his lifelong political career, he held a number of other positions, among them Foreign Affairs, Opposition Leader, and Governor of ECBIC. Yes, he's been a backbencher on both sides of the House too. More has been documented about Sir Michael before and after independence.
Papua New Guinea, time he come up, time all money talk, Papua New Guinea not making something. Pangu party show him all same, Papua New Guinea people, he got savvy, he got strong. People of Manantap, he give him one kind savvy, all the same man, he got nerve skill. Papua New Guinea people today running country, long public service, long private sector. Before you know got plenty Papua New Guinea man running all PMV. Before you know got plenty Papua New Guinea man, he gives him development bank loan. Before you know got plenty man on Papua New Guinea, he got all kind business. Because Pangu, he thought business from this black country. He must even around blow all people from this black country.
We've achieved certain things, but we haven't achieved everything. And now fighting this election, I'd like to be able to go back and make sure that some things that we promise people, we'd like to be able to implement our promises that we've made to the nation and to the people of this country.
Yeah, very close, huh?
That's that.
I thought we've been close.
Yeah, we've been close together. Yeah.
What? Do you want us to kiss each other too?
Well, I mean, that might be a good picture.
Thank you, Sir Michael, for talking to us. 25 years on, and you've been associated with it all the way through. How do you feel on this day?
Well, I think we have come a long way. We've come a long way after 25 years. Come a long way in terms of what has happened in the country. We've made a very good progress in a very short space of time. I think what we've also tried to do is try to put 100 years of development into 25 years. But we still have a lot of mistakes to go yet.
Mistakes? We've made many mistakes?
We've made many mistakes, but I think we've learned from those mistakes and we've tried to, and we still have a very thriving democracy. That's something which is very important.
Threatened though, over time?
Threatened from time to time, but I think Sandline, yes. But I think from time to time it has been excellent rapport. You look at the experience in the Asia-Pacific region, you look at the African experience, Papua New Guinea has thrived very well after 25 years, and I'm very proud of the fact that we've done well.
Lessons to be learned from Fiji, Solomon Islands?
Yes, I think there are a lot of lessons to be learned about, their type of development and what they're doing and so on and so forth. But to maintain democracy and to be able to put our heads up and continue on as a thriving nation, we have done extremely well.
What about economics in Papua New Guinea? How have we done?
Well, we've done fairly well. I think the economic management has not been as good as we expected. But in terms of how we have thrived, you go around PNG, nobody is living in poverty. Yes, you probably see the side of poverty, people like to publicize Port Moresby, Mount Hagen, Wewak and other places. But you go back to the roots in the villages, you find that the people still survive.
They're cushioned though by the normal village setting, not so much the Western economics.
Yes, that's right, yeah. Well, for the villager, yes, so much of a village setting. But for economic management, as you said, economically, the country has done very well. We have, yes, we've had problems for the last 3 years, but that was expected. The rest of the world have faced the same difficulty. We have really not have had a starvation like what you see in lots of developing countries who have been independent for a long time. They've gone back to poverty, and poverty is very high in their places, whereas in Papua New Guinea, I'm very proud of the fact that last week I was in Rabaul, and everywhere you go, it's one Australian said that, oh, you land in the jungle of coconut. Do they come up naturally? And a nephew of mine answered and he said, no, they were planted by the Germans and they made people to work, and that's how this is how far we've come. Yeah.
What about East Sepik province? You have represented this province in all of your political life. Are you content?
Well, I think what we've done is I'm quite happy with how we've done, how we've fared with the other provinces. But I'm not happy that, some of our infrastructure development, we've spent a lot of money in this province. No one in CIPIC should say that the national government has not put a lot of money into this province. It is again the management. Yes. We don't have good management team in the province. If we are arriving in Wewak today and you travel around Wewak and you go up to Maprik and Ambunti and Drekike and Angoram, these places, people will say to you, look at our roads, Somari, look at our roads, Arthur, look at our roads, Bernard, look at our roads, two Bernards and two Somares, and Peter Lewis, what have you done? Yes, we have the money, but the management team is not right, and we've had a history of Australian government giving us support as well. We've had a very good support from the Australian government, but each time the money is allocated to us, been withdrawn again for reasons only known to the Department of Works and Works Management in town and the administration as a whole.
33 years in politics, and after 25 years, Papua New Guinea being an independent country, what becomes of the chief?
Well, I think I've been thinking a lot about this. I don't know whether I should now call it a quit, or I feel myself personally that I can make a contribution. Put in the right place, in the right area, I think I can make a contribution.
Would you like to be Prime Minister again?
That is not a question that I would entertain, but depending on the elections, and if my party happen to gain the majority, of course I'll have a go. And I said, I wish a human being can change like snakes and others do, because a lot of things that we've made mistakes, and I'd like to be able to either sit up front or sit next to someone and say, look, we've made mistakes in those areas. Why don't we improve ourselves now? Let's look at 50th anniversary as a different perspective. 30th anniversary should be completely different from now.
So Bougainville will have, if not completely determined the kind and level of lower level authorities we have here in the country, you as minister responsible for Bougainville now, what is the future of Bougainville?
Well, from the last week's meeting that we had, and the last week meeting is an indication of what we can do. And I've gone to Cabinet. Cabinet has been very supportive. Prime Minister has been very supportive. His statement in Parliament is very supportive of the move that I'm taking. And after 25 years, we've always had a struggle. Give him an opportunity, give him autonomous government in the area and see how they perform. And likewise, it goes to other provinces too. Idea of having a referendum is not to say that the referendum for independence. Parliament can still legislate, and Parliament still has the final powers. And you have to set a majority that votes in Parliament to grant an autonomous, or not particularly autonomous, but independence for any of the provinces who want to follow suit. But at the moment, I think Bougainvilleans are quite satisfied with. Yes, I put in the agreement that they would also be looking at the possibility of future political status. A referendum can decide that, but referendum. I want people of Papua New Guinea to know that when referendum is conducted, it's not just conducted to grant Parliament as a final veto to everything in this country. And we have a constitution which safeguards the provinces, protects the human rights, protects the individual rights, association of press and everything else. And we have a constitution. We have one of the constitutions which a real good safeguard for anything that can go haywire.
Yes. So thank you very much for talking to us. The Chief, the first Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, the current Minister for Bougainville Affairs, Sir Michael Samare. That concludes our series of documentaries commemorating Papua New Guinea's Independent Silver Jubilee. We are sorry we couldn't bring you every aspect of PNG ways of life in these documentaries. We hope that we've given you a glimpse of them anyway, and also hope that these programs have helped you reflect on your own contributions to this beautiful country.
The National Statistical Office wishes to inform the general public throughout Papua New Guinea that structural listing for the 2021 national population and housing